Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And action-packed as always. Welcome, Alicia. So let's just jump in because we're going to rewind for just a second as we then literally propel forward. So let me get my specs on, and because the energies and where we're going, it is about, we're going to work with hexagram 13. It's about fellowship. It's about union, overcoming obstacles. Welcome, Kiki. And so we're looking at this continuation. I mean, as above, so below. You can see I'm all up in my head because these energies are so big. So let's just talk about where we were last week, the astrological influences last week. It was all about Venus, Venus, Venus. Well, this continues. This Venus, Venus, Venus. She is on a mission, a mandate, and rightfully so, and thankfully so, because again, we're leaving Piscean, patriarchal. We are in the Aquarian matriarchal. And so again, last week, it was all about Venus, Venus, Venus. This week, it's about Venus, 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 continued. And you'll see why in a moment. So we have this Venus, Venus, Venus from last week, game over, and this game, set, match. Things get messy, conflicted, and challenging. Things begin to topple over, like dominoes, like an avalanche. Regimes topple over, regime change, and they said, hang on. Well, then we go to, here's the astrological influences. And this is what the unseen gave me. Kicking ass and taking names. So you can see where Venus enters Aries. That's the holdover. Venus conjuncts Neptune. It was conjunct the North Node. It was conjunct Saturn. Then we have literally on the 4th of May, Pluto went retrograde in Aquarius. Welcome, Deborah. And then we have Mercury conjunct Chiron and Eris. So we'll get to that in a minute. But literally this Venus conjunct the North Node, Venus conjunct Saturn, then Venus enters Aries, then she's conjunct Neptune. There's all of this Venus energy, the divine feminine, and they said, game over, game, set, match. Well, now it's kicking ass and taking names. And so realize how this plays with our main theme, which we will come to in a minute. The whole aspect here is Venus has a mandate. She is setting the stage for what is before us, what comes next. And everyone, everyone's working in harmony together. So here's Pluto going retrograde in Aquarius. Then we have Mercury conjunct, meaning together, with Chiron, the wounded healer. So how we think, how we communicate, the words, the actions, these aspects conjunct the wounded healer, Chiron, who is also conjunct Eris. And whew, it's a lot. But it's all for us. And so let's move into why. What's the main theme? And this is what's so amazing. What I heard when I looked at this astrological chart, I'm just bringing up the astrological chart for Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And you see the tips all pointing towards Mars, the moon. So Mars, divine masculine, the creative force, the moon. It both conceals and reveals. And it's, again, they're opposite Pluto. And then, as you can see, they're square to the sun. So there's going to be combustion, friction, and the sun illuminates. So here our main theme, and they said, like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? So with this Pluto retrograde, and that is from May 4th to October 13th of 2025. Like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? And the image, of course, is this almost like this raging flame. It reminds me of the Temperance card in the tarot. And, here's that, the soul mixing this beautiful, perfect combination and energies for the soul. And you see in the background, this beautiful, the rainbow, the illuminated rainbow with the crown. It's like the crown of righteousness, that perfect human. And in the image of the main theme is this flame, this inferno that makes a heart. And so it's to remember what this is all about: choice. Ultimately, it feels like we've talked about two different trains, two different paths. It's all about choice and how they appear to be, in juxtaposition to one another. But in actuality, they're not. It's simply everything is leading us forward. It's about transcendence, ascendance, evolution. How we get there is an individual and collective choice. And so there'll be those that choose a higher octave, a higher path. This, that golden ticket, the golden train, and so forth. There'll be those that choose the train that is sitting over the abyss that goes nowhere, and they're cleaving to it. And yet, the destination, the ultimate destination, is ascension, transcendence, evolution, moving forward. How we choose to get there, how you individually choose to get there, is an individual choice. So how we experience it is going to be individual choice. However, like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed, our main image, our main theme, this is about that Temperance card, that burning away what no longer serves. And in that, let me just counterbalance this with our mantra: peace be with you. We've had this over and over again, this theme of peace be with you, and how the unseen, Master Jesus, God, Allah, Buddha, the all that is with us. They're ever present with us. So in this temperance, this forge, this like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed, we also have peace be with you. It's an assurance. And again, it just comes down to how do you choose to dance? We're at the dance. How do you choose to dance? And in speaking with unity and so forth, this verse from Colossians 3:15, they said, "And let the peace that comes from Christ rule in your hearts. For as members of one body, you are all called to live in peace and always be thankful." It's at our center: love, peace, harmony, joy, ascension, evolution. That's what's at our center. How we get there is up to us. It's an individual choice. And what they were saying, what the unseen was saying about, welcome Olivia, what the unseen was saying about this main theme this process of the burning away, the temperance, the forge. This like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? Because Pluto retrograde is going to reveal. Mercury, Chiron, conjunct Eris is going to give us the opportunity to heal. Heal how we think, heal how we speak, the words we use, these types of things. So these combined, and the unseen said, a form of healing, release, and renewal, transcendence, and transformation. So you can see that that's the point of all of this. How we get there, individual choice. However, they're all working in concert. So Venus, Pluto retrograde, Mercury conjunct Chiron, conjunct Eris, they're all working together on our behalf. It's a form of healing, release, and renewal, transcendence, and transmutation, because we're transmuting where we've been. We're transmuting the goo, the old masks, the identities, the labels, the scripts, this old story, this old paradigm. And so when it burns away, they're giving me the image, it's the movie, the remake of the movie, 1001 Dalmatians. 1001 Dalmatians? I have to come back to it's Emma Stone plays the lead character, Emma Thompson. But she's in this gown and she lights a match and it goes, and it reveals a whole other image of her in a different gown and so forth. It's like that for us. It will be like that. And so it is like that. So let's go to Chani Nicholas very quickly. She is an incredible astrologer. And this is from her The Weekly, issue number 65. And the title was, by the way, they can't read your mind. And she says, time to put words to your wounds. This week, the messenger planet, Mercury, links up with the celestial therapist, Chiron, and nudges us to spill our doubts and share our feels. So figure out what you need to schedule. Figure out who you need to schedule a one-on-one with, and don't be afraid to ugly cry it out. If you've been denying the truth, lead with it. Being clear connects the dots, repairs bridges, and inspires diary-worthy ahas. The catharsis continues when Mercury enters Taurus on Saturday, and it makes a square gulp to Pluto early next week. So see, we're going to have this square as a confrontational aspect, how we think. We're healing these things. We're not trying to, we're healing these things. And it's about pushing us to wear more of our heart on our cashmere sleeve. Revealing what's on your mind is your ticket to growth. And then Chani Nicholas says, promise. So see, there's promises, there are aspects in this it's all for us. And so when we lead with our authenticity, with the truth, when we wear our hearts on our sleeves, like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? When we speak truth, then we burn away the embers of all the stuff the obstructions and the obstacles and the goo that's been holding us back, holding us down. It is time to soar. That was our theme last week, time to fly, soar, the magic within. It's time. It's just how we get there. So let's move to hexagram 13. And we're going to first work with Carrie Hone at cafeosol.com. And it's about, hexagram 13 is about fellowship. So and it's number 4 from the unseen. So this is foundational. And they're saying fellowship, union, and the overcoming of obstacles. That's what this Venus, Pluto retrograde, and Mercury-Chiron-Eris conjunction, this is all working to unite us, to bring us into harmony with it. Fellowship is harmony, socializing. It's coming together, working in harmony with one another. And look on the world stage. Look at how it's the lowest octave of us to fight, to argue, to go into battle, to harm one another. It's the lowest vibration. It's the cheapest. It's the cheapest aspect of ourselves. The lowest energy, the shadow. It takes far greater depth value, self-worth, to rise up and say, to Namaste, I bow to the divine in you, to meet us at a divine level, to meet one another at a divine level. That requires fellowship, union, overcoming obstacles. You don't have to spill blood. You don't have to intimidate and oppress and suppress others. You simply meet them at your divine status. Meet them at that octave, that level of energy. So here's Carrie Hahn at cafesoul.com with fellowship, hexagram 13. And its hidden influence is coming to meet, encounter, coming to meet the divine in ourselves, coming to meet the divine in others, that we encounter it. And the underlining cause, army, correct discipline, that we don't have to war and oppress and suppress and cheat and lie and steal and harm and wound and kill. We have correct discipline. Army, legions, we have everything within us that we need. So think about that when we approach relationships or situations in our individual lives. See, it doesn't have to be this brutal confrontation. We can come to meet and encounter the divine in ourselves, the divine in another, and choose that path, that course, that octave. It brings us to our first quote. And I love this. It's an image of a dandelion and the flower of life. And it says, humankind, this is by Chief Seattle, humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. So each and every time we inflict harm, pain, oppression, suppression, this domineering, this lack mentality, all that goo, we're doing it to ourselves because we've done it to the web of life. The more we purify it, it's the scene in Rise of the Guardians. There's an image of the globe and the Guardians are all gathered. And because of Pitch, the boogeyman, all the lights are going out around the globe. And yet, because it's about choices, it's about beliefs, Mercury, how we think, how we speak. And so, but once the Rise of the Guardians, once they confront the shadow, Pitch, the boogeyman, and they overcome, they transcend, they transmute the boogeyman. And little Jamie says, I'm not afraid of you. I know you exist. I'm just not afraid of you. I know you exist, but I'm not afraid of you. That simple act. He didn't war and battle and kill him. He just confronted him in this matter-of-fact, pure way that said, I know you exist, but I'm not afraid of you. Well, Pitch's power was diminished. It was depleted, and all the lights started coming back on. Well, that's what this. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. So in this moment of like a dagger to the heart and what gets revealed in this, the furnace and the forging and the temperance of ourselves, choose to speak to yourself, to others, with kindness, with joy, with goodness. That keeps the light on. That keeps the light burning. And that magnifies and amplifies the light. So hexagram 13. Fellowship is a hexagram that explores your character, integrity, and how you interact with others. In joining with another, the relationship will allow you to share a special connection, but is not always a romantic or harmonious interaction. It can be platonic, business, whatever it may be. This is because there is more of an emphasis on gaining clarity or learning about yourself through others. We're all mirrors. We're all in each other's play. We're in reciprocity with one another. We are often attracted to groups because of our shared interests. Once in the group, however, we discover the ways in which we are different. Our differences also define our individuality. So we come into union, and then we discover our individuality, our uniqueness. The hidden influence of coming to meet allows for the exploration of the shadow in your relationships. It is an opportunity to own the dynamics you bring to your relationships, rather than blame others for your condition. It's always an inside job. So be willing to look at you, your interactions, your choices, your thoughts, your beliefs, your words. Choose to see them, because when we're in reciprocity, which we are 24/7 with the unseen and with other 8 billion other souls on the planet, and not just the soul, buildings, locations, places, everything is energy. And so it's to be willing to look at that and not blame others for our condition. When you can discover even the smallest insight about yourself through a relationship, regardless of its duration, it has been a successful partnership. It's that a reason, a season, a lifetime. Moving away from the underlining cause of army, we had the opportunity to put individual expression aside to work as a team. Now partnerships have to be viewed in terms of how you can best serve them while discovering more about yourself. This is Aquarian. It's we the people, which means what I do and how I act and how I live. How is that affecting the web of life, the flower of life? And how may I best serve while also discovering more about myself? Patriarchal Piscean, it was all about the ego, mind, personality, the I, me. Aquarian is about the us. It is about the we. And through that, we learn, we discover all of these things about ourselves. But it's a complete paradigm shift. It is literally placing the ego, mind, personality, the human, in the sidecar, and the soul source connection, is driving, leading, and how they work in oneness, in harmony, in unity, in fellowship with one another. This is a paradigm shift, and as we can see on the world stage, and you'll see from a Sabian symbol coming up, because it's the train that comes into the station. They don't want that era of the I, the ego, leading. They're terrified because they are so disconnected from their soul. And this is true. When I say they, what the unseen is talking about is there are those that have the preponderance to that. They lean heavily into the ego, the identity, the material items, the masks, the labels, the identities. That's the they they're speaking about. And there are those that do not. There's another they. This is about, and regardless, they still exist in each camp, if you will. It's just to what degree. So hexagram 13, we are part of a tapestry of interaction, yet each individual fulfills their own destiny. Fellowship presents a relationship with an emphasis on what it can teach you about yourself. This is about what we learn when we're in reciprocity, in union, in relationship, what we learn about ourselves. Not the other person, but that's what we tend to do. The old paradigm, the old Piscean patriarchal, ego-driven, the go-to is they, him, she. It's external. But that's never been the point. The point was to be able to see ourselves better. What is it that they are mirroring to us that we need to see, that we wanted to see? Transcend, transmute, overcome. Heaven together with fire, the image of fellowship. The clinging flame reflects the creative fire and sparkles like stars that mark cosmic time and order. So this heaven together with fire. It's the highest ideal together with the creative force, the fire. This fellowship. And it sparkles like stars that mark cosmic time and order. Fellowship is a message that asks you to overcome feeling separate from everything around you. Discover your connection to others and transcend the boundaries that separate you from life. This is our second quote. The master said, everything in the universe is interacting and exchanging energy in some way. In this image, we have two women that are exchanging gifts, literal gifts. They have presents for one another. And yet you see the joy, so they're also on their faces, they're also exchanging joy, happiness, contentment. This exchange of energy and the vibrancy of their divinity, their divine essence, their souls. That's all being exchanged in this image. And so the master said everything in the universe is interacting and exchanging energy in some way. Although you cannot see nature's symmetries and connectivity, they are there. It's like just because we can't see, quote unquote, the unseen, doesn't mean it's not there. One who understands the activities of nature uses no counting rods. The meaning of one thing can only be understood in relation to what it stands next to and what influences it. So we can only understand ourselves or something by relationship, by how we're interacting with it. And then it's always like it's an inside job. Come back home, come back into self to see clearly. We can see it's easy to see someone else very quickly. That's easy. Then take the time to discern, to have the time and the wisdom to discern, now what's mine? What's my role in this? What's my opportunity? What's on offer for me? Because that is this, like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? It's the temperance, the forge, it's all of this combining on our behalf. The second thing I heard with all of this from the unseen, it's the lyrics to two different songs. And the first one was Beast of Burden. Now, normally it's Mick Jagger and I forget, but the one I focused on is the version by Bette Midler. And so I heard, I'll never be your beast of burden. That was the lyrics of the song were playing in my head. Bette Midler's version of Beast of Burden carries a strong message of resilience and self-assurance, a refusal to be exploited. The lyrics suggest a sense of resilience and refusal to be taken advantage of. It sets personal boundaries and emotional connection. The song explores the themes of personal boundaries, self-assurance, and the need for emotional connection in a relationship. Don't forget that emotional connection in a relationship is also with ourselves. Welcome, Elizabeth. This is also about what's the relationship, what's the personal boundaries we set with ourselves, the emotional connection with ourselves, with our soul source connection. It's not just external relationships and boundaries. We have to set those first with ourselves. We have to exercise and hone that muscle so that we use it appropriately, armies, legion, correct discipline. We use it with others correctly. Her version, Bette Midler's version of the song, is also about fear of being taken for granted. It may symbolize the singer's fear of being taken for granted or mistreated by their partner. So again, what's on offer? What do I need to walk away from, leave behind? And finally, it talks about a desire for love. The protagonist is telling her partner that she won't be anyone's burden and wants them to show her love instead. Bette Midler's rendition of Beast of Burden is a powerful expression of self-worth, resilience, and the desire for genuine love and respect in life and in relationships. So we can see that's what's on offer. With this Venus, and all of these major planets shifting, we're moving in, we're shifting eras and paradigms and so forth. So like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed? Pluto retrograde from May until October. Venus, and then Mercury, conjunct Chiron, conjunct Eris. All of this. And the other song, all of this is working and conspiring on our behalf. How we choose to show up and dance and work with the energies, it's up to us, it's personal choice. And then the second song, the lyrics was by Taylor Dayne, it's With Every Beat of My Heart. And the lyrics are, with every beat of my heart, I keep getting closer to you. It's the soul speaking to us. It's the soul source connection speaking to us, ego, mind, personality, human. And it's literally source, God, Allah, Buddha, the all that is, the higher octave speaking to us. With every beat of my heart, I keep getting closer to you. We keep getting closer to the ideal, to who we are as our divine selves. And again, imagine the world. We can see the world right now. We can see what happens when the shadow, the worst, the least of us is at the forefront. Chaos, oppression, suppression, this, demonizing, dehumanizing, all of this stuff. It's just hideous. It's purposeful, but it's painful and hideous. Now stop and think about when we meet ourselves and each other, individuals, communities, groups, nations, commerce, industry, at this higher octave of who we are at our center. It's a paradigm, it's a complete shift of the world. And instead of investing the time and the energy and the labor and the love and the money and the excitement in that, which requires, air quotes, more of us, because we have to overcome our lesser selves, our shadow. However, that's what's on offer, and that is where we're going. That is the new. So let's look at our key word, undeterred. And I love this because the unseen is undeterred. God is undeterred. Source, the all of Buddha, the all that is undeterred. Undeterred, resolute, firm in purpose or belief, characterized by firmness and determination, persevering with something despite setbacks, not discouraged or prevented from acting by problems, criticism, etc., still continuing to do something despite hardship, obstruction, or other obstacles. This is a wake-up call for us to be undeterred in our pursuit, our perseverance for the ideal. That which is at our center, that which is what we are taught. We're children, we're babies, we're children, we come into this world, and for the most part, the adults, whether it be parents or caregivers or teachers, or they're all influencing us, teaching us right from wrong, influencing us to be our highest selves. And then somewhere along the line, when they reach adulthood, they abandon all of this for what? Power, prestige, status, material, wealth. As my sister often says, it's not like God pulls up a U-Haul for you when you transition and says, oh, here, you get to take it all with you. You don't. You don't take that with you. What you do take with you is your karma, your dharma, your life experiences, your choices. That goes with us. All the other trappings and illusions do not go. We're stripped bare of them. We don't come in with them. We don't leave with them. So with that, undeterred. Be undeterred in pursuing this crown of righteousness, truth, goodness, purity, making the right choices, so that ultimately the culmination, the energies, the boomerang that's already coming back to us is positive, quote unquote, positive karma. It's all divine and neutral, but we would identify these things as positive versus negative. Let's move now to, because they're talking about this time, it's number 5 from the unseen. So all of these energies that we've been speaking about, and they said, portal of transformation begins now. It was very authoritative, portal of transformation begins now. And they said, and they were talking about like May, these energies that we're talking about. And then they said, oh, wait, exclamation point. It's been ongoing since time immemorial. So we've been on this journey of transcendence and ascension and transmutation and so forth since time immemorial. Is there one? Is there a portal of transformation that begins now, that's here? Saturn is getting ready to move at the end of May. Saturn moves into Aries. All these major planets are shifting. So yes, however, it's also been present since time immemorial. Elizabeth is saying it feels like looking into a mirror. Exactly, because we're meant to face ourselves. we are meant to look at the, the nitty-gritty of it all. We're not meant to just put out the pretty and go, oh, isn't that great? And ignore, negotiate, barter, hide the shadow. We're supposed to harness the shadow in harmony for the ideal, the higher octave. It's purposeful. The only time it becomes truly detrimental is when we kind of quadruple down and we reside and we use the shadow as the excuse, or we amplify and magnify the shadow. Now, again, it's purposeful. It's a choice. However, that choice, those decisions, they come with what I would call a cosmic 2x4 boomerang, like wham! Oh, you want more? Okay, you want to go the hard way? You want to do it the hard way? You want to keep doubling and quadrupling down? Well, you're only just, imagine you're already in the pit and you're just piling more and more and more sand on top of you, or guck on top of you. And yet you think that's the right way to get out of the hole, to move into the sunlight? Okay. Well, let's move now, because again, this portal of transformation begins now. It's present, but it's time memorial. So, and I just want to, on hexagram 13, this is from tarot.com. They wrote, when communal or tribal bonds unite a group of people, great success is possible. But such bonding only develops when personal interests are subordinate to virtuous human relations, like open communication and empathy. See, it's when we unite and we come together for the greater good. By default, that is Aquarian. It is matriarchal. And by default, we receive the gifts, the richness of that experience. However, our purpose is communal, of the whole. The broader the perspective, the greater the good that can be achieved, and the greater the potential good, the more powerful the support behind it. It builds upon itself. It amplifies and magnifies. Likewise, so does the lesser choices, the shadow aspects. A spirit of cooperation steadies the boat for the good of all, though it does help to have a beautiful island of high ideals to row towards. So again, imagine what we could do, humanity could do, when we choose to row towards this beautiful island of high ideals. Learn to respect the power of diversity, for a community's strength lies not only in its numbers, but in the diverse skills and collective resources of its members. We were all created with this diversity, with this uniqueness, this difference. It's purposeful, not to divide us, but to bring about the fractal of source, the diversity of source, bring it all together. And again, whether this is in our personal lives, our businesses, governments, industry, you want to harness the best of each member. That's the real gold. Like the stoutest walls reinforced by different materials, the strongest groups benefit from a tolerance of differences, strengthening the fabric of the whole. What you do to the fabric, you do to yourself. What you do to the whole, you do to yourself. With a unified group solidly behind you, even difficult enterprises can be undertaken without great risk. It's about number 6 from the unseen, spirit and service. It's about unity, consciousness, oneness. There's still diversity. There is still individual identity and so forth. It's just in service to the whole, to a greater, higher ideal, a higher octave of ourselves. And when we work in harmony, and we'll see when you gather in any groups, you'll see there are those that are literally aligned. You can feel the energy. They're all in. They understand that this isn't about any individual. It's about this higher ideal, this outcome, this pursuit. And when there are those that are discordant, they're not, they're causing the harmony to, then it's easy to see. And it's easy to say, hey, might you change your octave? If they don't or they won't, then it's okay to say, well, then come back another time. Come back when you're ready. Because until then, we're moving in this way of harmony and unity for a higher ideal, a higher octave and of experience. And of course, that's what's coming back to us. So, and it's to remember, I just want to bring up this image of the sun and the moon, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, matriarchal, patriarchal, Piscean, Aquarian. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We just want to retain, the child, the infant on the white horse. The white horse denotes purity. The child denotes innocence, purity, rebirth. The sunflowers, abundance, prosperity. The sun radiating. In this image, she is smiling. And the moon, the inner knowing, the intuition, that emotion, empathy. It's about blending these two. They exist within us. So harness the best of them, the highest octave of them, the purity of them, to achieve your goals. And when we individually choose that, and then we begin collectively interacting, fellowship in union, we overcome obstacles. We place ourselves on a trajectory we've yet to experience. Now, the unseen is saying in this moment, and remember, we're coming in together. So in essence, whether you choose this or not, it's going to happen. This is the way. This is the path that we're on. This is the trajectory. So like we were speaking at the beginning of the show, the top of the hour, how you get there is up to you. Get there we will. It's a fait accompli because we've already been where we've been. Now we move forward. Just to touch quickly on Mercury, Chiron, and Eris. They said Mercury, Chiron, and Eris. Oh my. And it reminded me of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Which is, of course, from The Wizard of Oz. And this is from Quora. It's a bot assistant. It said the line, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, comes from the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz, which is based on L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. In the film, Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Man sing this line as they venture through the forest, expressing their fear of encountering wild animals. They're on the yellow brick road. They're on the path. They've never been there before. They don't know what they're going to encounter. And so in this discussion with the song, it's like, what might be out there? Oh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. The phrase has since become iconic and is often referenced in popular culture to convey a sense of trepidation or anxiety about facing fears. Fear is your friend. Fear is energy. Love is energy. Hope is energy. Dislike is energy. We simply want to face our fears. We'll harness the energy of fear to transcend it, to literally catapult, transmute it, transcend it, to evolve. Fear is natural. And it's going to speak to us about, oh, we don't know. We know where we've been. We don't know what's coming. But that shouldn't be a reason to not go there. If Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, and Toto, if they had never gone to see the wizard, to the Emerald City, if they had never taken the journey, she wouldn't be back home. She'd still be there in Oz because she wouldn't have had the depth, the courage, the fortitude. But she was undeterred. I'm going. She faces it. That's what we're talking about here. That's what all of these astrological events and energies are speaking to. This Pluto retrograde, Venus, 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 and the Mars, Chiron, Eris conjunction. Plus all the major planets. I mean, look how much is happening in 2025. end of 2024 into early 2026. This 18 months, it's unrivaled. I mean, astrologers speak about how this hasn't happened in, like thousands of years. So we have all of this playing out for us. Now let's look at, I want to go to astrologer Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, and she speaks about Mercury and Chiron and Eris. Oh my. In writing about her last month's full moon a few weeks ago, Pam Youngins explained that the lunation was activating the effects of the upcoming Chiron-Eris conjunction. Both Chiron and Eris are known for revealing unpleasant truths, stirring deep reactions. We have certainly seen much evidence of their combined influence over these past few weeks. So you can see unpleasant, like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed. This week, with Mercury conjunct both Chiron and Eris, more revelations are likely. As truths emerge and challenge what we thought we knew, some might respond with resentment, blame, and deep anger. That's just quadrupling down in the shadow. It's not seeing the opportunity for what it is. It will be important to remember that such disclosures and the public outcry and grassroots movements they give birth to are a necessary step before healing, Chiron, and the righting of wrongs, Eris, can begin. This is all purposeful. It may be like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed. It may be unsettling. It may be shocking. The point is to not quadruple down. It's to face the truth. Purify it. Transmute it. It's the temperance card. It is the forge. When we put the raw iron into the forge, they pound it. They heat it up to high extremes of heat, of temperature, and then they pull it out and they pound and pound and pound. All the impurities fall away so that when they finally emerge, that metal, when they retrieve it from the forge, what remains is of a far higher quality. That is this moment. Pam Youngin, she also speaks about meteor showers in the constellation of Aquarius grace the skies from mid-April through the end of May each year. So this is occurring now. Since ancient times, meteors have been seen as portents of major change, similar to how we experience eclipses. As the comet fragments burn up into the Earth's atmosphere, they invite us to release our own debris, the forge, the temperance, old habits, outdated beliefs, and emotional baggage. Labels, identities, scripts, stories, all these things that we tell ourselves that are weighing our soul down, the purity of who we are down. These cosmic messengers can bring inspiration and life-changing epiphanies, while also reminding us of our connection to the universe. This is fellowship, union. What we do to the web, we do to ourselves. So we have all of this going on. I just want to bring this back up. Remember, peace be with you. We are never alone. We are not doing these works alone. We are doing them in reciprocity with the unseen, with your soul source connection guiding you, with the other 8 billion souls on the planet, with Mother Earth, all of this in union and harmony and fellowship for a higher octave of all of humanity, of existence, of experience. That's what's happening here. So let's now go to, where'd it go? Astrology by Lauren. Here we are. And Astrology by Lauren is speaking about Pluto stations retrograde, May 4th. She begins with a quote by Joseph Campbell. "It is by going down into the abyss that we recover the treasures of life. Where you stumble lies your treasure. The very cave you are afraid to enter turns out to be the source of what you are looking for." When we're willing to look inside, when we're willing to own ourselves, our stuff, when we're willing to face our shadow and harness the energy of it to transcend and transmute, it ends up being the source of what you were looking for. It's only when we bury our heads in the sand that we deny its gifts. And the unseen is showing me again, a pearls of wisdom, pearls. They began as an irritant, a grain of sand, a piece of refuse or something that enters the oyster. Without that irritant, that grain of sand or something, the pearl is never created, manifested. So it's purposeful. Shadow is purposeful. It's just not to remain there. So Astrology by Lauren. On May 4th, Pluto officially pauses for its retrograde station. Now that Pluto is in Aquarius, it is unveiling a new era, one that reeks of transformative change. I love that. That reeks of transformative change. It still dangles the wistful promise of the democratic ideals embodied in Aquarius: freedom, equality, and universal brotherhood. Things that we must choose. They're present, however, we must choose them. These higher octave ideals: freedom, equality, universal brother-sisterhood, fellowship, union, overcoming obstacles. But even the possibilities of these sorts of changes can and will be accompanied by a backlash. And so, what Pluto in Aquarius has brought may not always be what we had hoped it might be. Meaning, both truths exist. Truths meaning energies. It's shadow and it's higher octave. It's light. And so, the old Piscean, patriarchal, ego, mind, personality, human-based era doesn't want Aquarian, matriarchal, we the people, unity, harmony, fellowship. They don't want it. They're afraid of it. And yet, this is where choice matters. How we act, how we interact, the choices we make matter. Because it brings about the life we live in, the experience we have. And this isn't airy-fairy. This is just simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. It's simple. And it's actionary. We can choose it every moment. And when we fall short, we're human. We will fall short. We'll stub our toe. Okay. That's not what matters. What matters is how quickly do we recover? How quickly do we pivot? How quickly do we recognize where we are with ourselves, what we did, and move forward from it in a positive manner? Atone, own, atone, release. Lauren continues, when Pluto changes signs as it now has into the sign of Aquarius, it is accompanied by shifts of power. And it is these shifts in power that define the era to come. With Pluto, we often experience the extremes of the sign it is traveling in and the ideal archetypes such as might be seen in a more perfect democracy versus the more decadent and shadowy abuses of power that undermine that democracy. We're seeing that on the world stage. And as Pluto stations for its retrograde phase, it is digging in even deeper, showing us what happens when we play our cards right, but also what happens when we don't. Choices. Choices. If we want a world of harmony and unity and abundance and glory, then we must choose that individually and collectively. Because otherwise, there are those that are going to choose the shadow aspects of Pluto in Aquarius. And they're going to attack those very ideals, those higher octaves, because they want to stay down, in the gutter, in the goo. When Pluto stations, we become that much more aware of the use and abuse of power. It's in our face. It is unmistakable, the choices and what's facing us. Pluto can show us the beauty and power of transformation and healing through rebuilding, regenerating, and renewal, but it can also show us how things can also go horribly awry, either by deliberately abusing power through utter destruction or by ignoring problems and trying to kick them under the rug. So either way, it's going to show us in which one are we choosing. In our own lives, facing our own Pluto is one of the most challenging, but also rejuvenating and freeing experiences we will ever have. Just know that by facing our own darkness, our own shame, guilt, hungers, and fears, and doing so with the utmost honesty, we are also given the opportunity to heal and grow in ways that we cannot even imagine. This is about this main theme, this image. Look, it's our hearts. It's our heart center in the furnace, in the forge. Not to be killed, to be tempered, purified, renewed. So when we face our own Pluto, and this Pluto retrograde, that happens, this is when the rubber meets the road. And yet we have Mercury and Chiron and Eris all working with us. We have Venus, Venus, Venus working with us. We have the unseen working with us. So when we face it, we grow in ways that we can't even imagine. The wounds of Pluto cannot be healed until they are revealed for what they are. Like a dagger to the heart, what gets revealed. Once discovered, we are asked to go down even deeper, down to the very root of the problem and its source. Truly, Pluto's goal, as it is with all these planetary transits, is to support our evolutionary growth. It's for us. It's not to harm us. It's to help us, for us. It's about our evolutionary growth. This begins by first admitting to and owning the dark and tangled tapestry of our lives, and then finding the ways to untangle it and even heal that mess once and for all. Own, atone, release it. Own it, atone for it, and then release it, move through. So it's to heal this mess once and for all. Lauren continues, whether we think of this metaphor as untangling the karmic threads that we weave our destiny, or finally coming to understand our own life's purpose, Pluto is always so much deeper than at first realized. He is, after all, the Lord of the underworld. When we are humble enough and brave enough, when we are undeterred, so when we are humble enough and brave enough to do this deep dive, when we're undeterred, that is what we are capable of finding, our true destiny and purpose. Not what we've laid and labored onto it and life experiences and that's all an illusion. That was all there to help us. Not hurt us, not harm us, not keep us down or back, but to lift us up. But in order to do that, we have to transcend, we have to transmute that energy. We have to see it with new eyes. And Lauren, Astrology by Lauren, she continues, and if you dislike what you think you have found, then you haven't dug deep enough. To get there, we must get beneath all the trash, all the regrets, the shames, and the ancient wounds. And then through forgiveness and acceptance of ourselves and others, but of ourselves, discover our true selves devoid of all that mess. When we do this work, know that there are also other things that are buried beneath the surface of all that muck and mire. Things such as treasures of unequal beauty and resilience. It's your soul. It's your soul source connection. It's your divinity. It's your light. It's your purity. They just sparkle. It's resilient. Things such as treasures of unequal beauty and resilience, honed by life's external pressures and the breath of time. This is like the diamond. It's carbon, I believe it's carbon. In the earth, it's under extreme pressure. That's what creates and forms, manifests the diamond, which is, it's the hardest mineral on earth. And it's prized and it sparkles. That's who we are. So Astrology by Lauren, she's saying gifts that are inexplicably beautiful and magical. These are the rewards that are available to us when we are willing to do this deep work. Pluto is the alchemist who can turn lead into gold, the phoenix reborn out of the ashes of what was, the magician who can transform experience into revelation. And so, it is during the retrograde phases of Pluto each year that we are not only given the capacity to transform our own lives, but to meet our own magi who can lead us to our salvation. This is an opportunity. This moment, this portal of transformation begins now. Oh, wait, it's been ongoing since time immemorial, but this moment is where the rubber meets the road, and it is our opportunity to heal, to transform, to release, to renew, to transmute. Come what may, it's going to happen. It's a fait accompli. It's a done deal. Game over, game, set, match. And I'm just going to do it one more time because there's the Pluto retrograde chart, and here's the astrological influences, kicking ass and taking names. Because that's what this moment requires. In order for us to advance, it's a game over, game, set, match, kicking ass, taking names, move forward. Own it, atone for it, release it, because we're moving up. We're moving on up. And Astrology by Lorraine, she concludes with a Joseph Campbell. She began with a quote from him. She concludes with one. We must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned, to have the life that is waiting for us. The old skin, this was back shows snake medicine, the old skin must be shed before the new one can come. So in order for us to be who we are and who we become, we have to be willing to rid ourselves of the life we planned to receive the life that's waiting for us and to shed that old skin. The old masks, the identities, the labels, the scripts, the stories, the excuses. That old saying, excuses are like hind ends, everyone has one. Well, it's time for us to get rid of the excuses, because that is an obstacle that we need and must overcome. Excuses. Face ourselves. It's time to face ourselves and recognize the role. I'm reminded of a personal experience with one of my besties, dear friends and colleagues, Deborah Wilson with Endless Essences, and the role she played some years ago. She continues to do this every day, but in this instance, I feared something. She mirrored something to me. And in the depth of the beauty of that gift, I saw myself. She played her role brilliantly and perfectly for me. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because it's why I'm here with you all today, in this manner, in this capacity. Absent her, maybe another would have come along or whatever, but she played her role brilliantly for me, and that's what we're talking about. No more excuses, face our fears, rise up, and it's really about just saying yes. Keep saying yes. Keep saying yes. Yes, I'll transmute that. Yes, I'll flow with change. Yes, like a dagger to the heart, when something gets revealed, I'll face it. I will see that it was there for me. Because what the unseen is saying right now is, because we've always known. You always know. So whether it was a relationship or a place or a job or something, we always know. We always know. We know when we're to leave it. We know what's going on. We know what's not good for us. So when we face it, we transmute it. We transcend it. That's really everything in a nutshell this week. And last but not least, it was the lyrics. Then with all of this, and it's pretty intense. I mean, like a dagger to the heart. Oh, like that's not intense. But what gets revealed? And then I just heard the lyrics to Adele's song, Go Easy on Me. I was just a child. I didn't get to, it's about kind of like we're walking unconsciously through life. And so it's us humans, it's the human, the ego, mind, personality human saying to source, to the unseen, go easy on me. And vice versa. That we see the unseen, God, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, that we go easy on them. We don't demonize them. We don't ridicule them. We don't mock them. We recognize the purity and the genuineness in their desire, in their mandate to elevate us to a higher octave. So let us work in fellowship and in union to overcome these obstacles and emerge from the forge far more pure, this higher octave and version of ourselves. So I love you all. Thank you for being with me today on this and in this incredible journey that we are all on, and for each and every one of your energies, your presence. It would not be the same, and I am forever grateful for it. So until next week, let's see what's happening next week from the unseen. But be gentle, be kind, own a tone release, and keep stepping, keep choosing a higher path, a higher octave. We'll see you next week.